I have a confession to make. But before I make a confession, I want you to make a confession. In your life till today, have you ever found yourself neglected, humiliated, isolated, low on self-esteem? Or have you ever undergone a moment of shame? Let me take you to 1998, to primary school in Ahmedabad, a city in India. As you and I enter the school, and as we are walking through a long corridor to reach to the door of one of the classrooms, we find that all the students are standing in a straight line, waiting for their turn to go out to the assembly hall for the morning prayer. And as you and I are standing there and observing these lovely kids having fun, a teacher approaches one of the kids and she says, "Why were you absent for last 3 days?" And the little guy says, "Ma'am, I will have fever, ma'am." Teacher says, "What?" And the young fellow says, "Ma'am, I'll have fever, ma'am." Teacher says, "You will have fever." This guy, he says, "Yes, ma'am, I will have fever, ma'am." Teacher says, "What rubbish," and she walks away. Now, just as she walks away, all the kids standing beside this young fellow, they all start laughing at him. Our little guy could figure out that he did something extremely wrong, but what wrong? He had no idea about it. That young fellow, confused with tenses, is standing here in front of you, still not sure if he will ever have fever. The news that the new kid in the school does not know how to speak English spread like a forest fire. You know how kids are, right? They made sure I would never ever forget this moment in my lifetime. And this actually took a toll on my self-esteem. Now, just a reminder, I'm talking about a time when I was just about entering into teenage, all set to figure out who I am. And exactly at that time, no one, I repeat myself, no one wanted to talk to a guy with a broken English. I was humiliated. People made fun of me. I was never considered a part of them. I became shy, I became isolated, and definitely did not want to go to school. And this all evidently reflected on my mark sheets. The scores took a massive dip. I couldn't figure out how to stop them. Rather, that external talk became my internal talk. I headed towards an identity defined by low self-esteem, self-criticism, worthlessness. Basically, I was sorry for my own existence. Soon, my mom took charge of it, and I really wanted to get rid of this everyday humiliation. So hard work was the only way out. I worked hard, and slowly but surely, dedication helped. This set straight the importance of hard work and dedicated efforts, which later became important assets for my professional career. Fast forwarding to February of 2018, on a random Friday evening, I got a call from a friend asking me if I would like to use my Sunday mornings to teach kids of underprivileged families. And I said no. No, because my Sundays are purely dedicated for playing cricket. I do not want to compromise it for anything. Few weeks later, I got a call again from the same friend asking me if I can go there just for one Sunday, as one of their teachers is traveling and I have to substitute her. I said okay. Since it was just about one Sunday, I said okay, I'll be there with you. So the following Sunday, I began teaching them mathematics. And as the class progressed, a young kid, should be about 10 years old, he walked up to me and he's looking at me and he's saying in the regional language. He says, "Sir, do you know how to speak English?" And fortunately enough, by then I knew how to speak English. So I said yes. And he said, "Sir, can you please teach me how to speak English?" And I said, "Yes, why not?" And as I said yes to him, this guy, he turns to the class and he asked this to the entire class. He asked if anybody else would want to learn the same. And to my surprise, all the 38 kids in the class raised their hands. And it was only me within myself who knew that I have committed only for one Sunday. So I'm anyways not coming from the following Sundays. As the class ended, I went out, I met my friend and I told him, "Dude, look, this is what happened inside. Okay, I committed for one Sunday, I'm here. From next Sunday, I'm not coming. And he said, don't worry, I will manage the situation. As the week progressed, I had all the reasons in the world for not going back to teach. And after much contemplation, even though I wanted to turn down the offer, something made me choose otherwise. A question which was, do I really want these kids to feel how I felt when I was 11? Neglected, humiliated, low on self-esteem? I couldn't. Because I, more than anyone else, know that it takes a toll on your self-image. I called my friend and said, I'll join you from next Sunday. Within my saying yes to their request and the school ends for the summer vacation, we had only 6 weeks in our hands. And before I began to teach them, I really wanted to understand how much do they already know about the language. Hence I asked all of them, one after another, come in the front of the classroom and introduce themselves. And the most they could speak is one line. And that was about their name. We started training together. Most of our classes went over time. They were always ready to learn more and showed absolute dedication with all the assignments ever given to them. On the last week, we called all the students from all other classes in the school playground, all the teachers and the principal and I, we were all sitting in the audience, and all these kids, all these 38 kids, they went on the stage one after another and introduced themselves. Where they not only spoke about their name, they also introduced their families, what school do they go to, where do they live, and not only this, they also said what do they aspire to become when they grow up. You could see their faces beam with pride. You got to trust me when I say this. I could actually feel 11-year-old Vishal jumping out of my body and giving me a pat on my back, saying well done. Public speaking is something that I've taught myself over time, but my biggest strength comes from that part of my childhood which was hurt the most. A part which taught me that our pains, our heartbreaks, our tears, all of them come to us not because the big guy up there is a sadist, but so that when we get through the pain, we reach out to those who might need the healing touch of human kindness. This incident and many other such incidents laid the foundation of a very important realization of my life. That only person who has experienced pain can understand what love is. A person who has seen disruption can understand peace. And a person who has undergone a lot of injuriousness and hatred from others know what kindness means and why should he be kind to others. Just to reiterate my point, let me share another instance with you. In the September of 2019, I was traveling from one country to another, and I was lucky enough to find my seat next to a monk. And I definitely did not want to let go of this opportunity to expect some wise words from the young monk. And I said, "Sir, if you have to teach me one thing that I should remember for a lifetime, what would that be?" And this young guy quotes Dalai Lama to me. He said, "Just remember to be kind whenever possible. And also remember that it is always possible." His words put me in trance. And after about 45 minutes, I said, "Sir, aren't we always kind to others? I mean, we don't go out and hit people, right?" And he smiled at me and said, "I'm sure you don't go out and hit people, but how about unkind words? We do abuse others verbally. We badmouth them." And I said, "Maybe sometimes." He said, "Only God knows how many massacres take place inside our head throughout the day." And I said, "You mean unkind thoughts?" He says, "Yes." He further adds, he says, "Vishal, remember, kindness has maximum return on investment." And this puts me in trance again. I said, "How is kindness related to investment and return?" He further adds, "Most of the people, right throughout their professional careers, their entire focus is on making more money, getting better jobs, recognitions, awards, achievements, accolades, etc. They aim to be financially independent so they can actually live a life of luxury. And there's nothing wrong in it, right? The point here is, some people get what they aim for, but most of them are generally dissatisfied with poor financial condition, bad health, with less or almost zero impact on society. Their entire focus is on accumulating things. But here is the catch. The moment we shift our focus from receiving to giving, magic happens. We must realize that in the equation of receiving, giving is the first step. When you start giving love, sharing wisdom, you be kind to others, when you extend your helping hand to other people, you actually start attracting more success, better promotions, excellent jobs, beautiful homes. I still remember the last line that he said before he got down from the flight. He said, Vishal, the more you give, the more will come back to you. Now, if we analyze both these stories very closely, we realize that we often have a tendency to always look at hard work, dedication, discipline, teamwork, innovation as the steps towards success. But what we don't realize is the foundation to all these steps is laid by purity of heart, through kindness, through compassion, through love, and through humility. Let me reiterate what he said. Kindness has maximum return on investment. Or if I may put it other way, kindness is the secret to success. Thank you.